Welcome back to another episode of Road to UTR 10. This is a series where I try to take my singles UTR to double digits because 2 is better than 1, I guess. So in my last UTR season, I played 4 matches. I went 3-1, winning some very close matches against 3 really tough opponents. And the one match I lost, I don't really want to talk about it. But even though I won most of my matches, they were super close and my UTR ended up dropping from around 8.4-ish to currently right under 8. It's been about 2 months since I played my last UTR match, and I feel like I've gotten a little bit better. I've been training all winter, so in this UTR season, we have some new faces as well as some pretty familiar faces on the channel, including Hassan, who beat me in my last UTR Flex season, and that video went completely viral. So looking forward to playing him again in this season. And speaking of familiar faces, my first opponent this time will be Eric, who actually was my first opponent last time in last season. So during our previous Flex match, I ended up beating him in a very tight 3 sets, winning 10-0 in the 3rd set tiebreak. And it just so happens I am playing him again as my first opponent. So we are both around 8 UTR. I am right under 8. I am at a 7.97 currently, just trying to crawl my way back into UTR 8. He is around 8 point something. I didn't buy power yet on UTR, so I can't really see the numbers. But he is above 8. I feel like we have both gotten better since then. We've been both playing a lot of tennis, and I was hoping for a good match. Except this match was one of the ugliest matches I've ever played. And I'm going to talk more about it in the video, and I think on both our ends, there was some ugly, very scrappy tennis going on. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, if you guys do enjoy this type of content, leave a like as well as hit that sub button. If you guys want to see more tennis content from me, let's get right into the match. Hope you guys enjoy. Alrighty, welcome back to another UTR match. This is the first UTR match of 2025, and it's been a while since I've played one of these. Definitely had a little bit of nerves going into it, and yeah, just not really used to playing matches. The last match I played was the tournament I played at the end of 2024, but the goal for this year is to play more matches, get that experience in, and hopefully the nerves will be better handled. But anyways, we're playing Eric. Like I mentioned in the intro, we had played each other before, and that last match was one of the most exhausting matches I've ever played. Clickbait title aside, it was actually very exhausting. At the end, the points got super long. We both just started grinding from the baseline, and it was really hard to finish a point against each other because we are both pretty consistent in the baseline. So that was kind of the expectation going into this match. We were going to have a lot of long points, great rallies from the baseline. But let me just tell you right now, as I mentioned in the intro, this match got pretty scrappy, pretty fast. A lot of unforced errors from both our sides. That is an example right there. Just shots that we shouldn't be missing. And for me, I think it came from my footwork. I came right from work on a work day like this, where I am pretty much sitting all day, not moving at all, not even getting any blood flow in my legs. Having a 10-minute warm-up and then playing a match right after is a little bit tough, so the legs weren't moving the way I want them to. And on Eric's end, I can't speak for him, but he did tell me that he thought this was a really messy match as well, and I think we were just making a lot more errors than we wanted to. But obviously this stuff happens, and when it happens, you just kind of have to adapt. You have to play with what you have that day. So for me, the challenge was really just to not beat myself and figure out how I could beat Eric on a day like this. So currently we are still holding serve. Eric did a pretty good job holding his serve, and it is currently 2-1. So just a little bit more about Eric's game. He is a very good singles player. He has very good ground strokes from the baseline, and he is also pretty smart about his game. So he will throw in some drop shots, he will slice if he needs to, and he is pretty good at finishing at the net, at least usually. Not trying to spoil anything, but there will be a couple of points where he just gives it to me for free. But that being said, he has every shot in the book, and he's, a very tough opponent to play. So I didn't really have much of a strategy going into this match specifically for Eric. I thought if I just play my best tennis, play aggressively, try to finish points on my own, and hit really solid ground strokes against him, I felt pretty confident in winning this match. But like I said, not feeling my game today. It was just one of those days where a lot of the balls coming off my racket just didn't feel right, and prime example right here, I just completely shank a forehand that I shouldn't normally shank. So in these first couple of games, I was still trying to find my game. I was still trying to go for balls when I can. So after a couple of errors, we quickly get down 3 break points here, and this is where I make a mental change in my head to just go for things a little bit less. So I know Eric is capable of putting balls away from me. I can't give him anything too easy, but at the same time, he was also giving me a lot of mistakes and errors, and I felt like if I was just able to keep the ball in a little bit longer, maybe get a feel for my game back, slow down the pace of the match a little bit, I'll be able to get myself back into the match. So I left this point in for 2 reasons. One is because we had to play a let, and this comes into play a lot of times in this match. I'm pretty sure I cut out the rest of the points where we had to play a let, but this happened multiple times in this match, and I could tell Eric got pretty frustrated, and overall it was just not the best court to play a match on, because that door right there was where people left and entered all the time, and a lot of times when people also aren't really that serious about tennis, they really don't know the tennis etiquette. So yeah, you can't really fault them for that, but it does get a little bit frustrating sometimes, especially when you are in the heat of the match. So I can't really blame Eric for getting mad. So we had to play that point twice. We do get ourselves back to deuce, and unfortunately I make a stupid decision to try to drop shot tap ball right there, and I'm not really good at drop shots, so I definitely shouldn't have went for that. And with that, I double fault and we drop our first service game. We are now down a break, and we just have to try to break Eric back. So remember when I said I was working on my volleys and putting balls away? Yeah, this is not a good example of that. I promise you guys, in most cases, I would be putting that away. So after that ball, I think I just made the decision to just stay in the baseline, because I was winning enough points at the baseline there. And same on Eric's side, I'm going to give him a little bit of crap for this as well. His volleys were kind of off that day as well. So eventually this match just turned into us grinding at the baseline. And you can see me here sometimes in this game going for a little bit more pace when I feel confident, especially now that I have 2 break points up. I really went for that backhand right there, started attacking a little bit more. I just wish I was able to keep that up throughout the entire match. There is definitely a mental barrier for me. A lot of times when I get nervous or when I'm under pressure, I pull back on my shots a lot, which does cause a lot more errors. And because my backhand is so flat, it either flies everywhere or it just isn't effective. But back to the match, we do break Eric's serve, so we are back on serve. It is now 3-all. And I do think I'm starting to play a little bit better in this set. So hopefully my level just continues to go up and the trajectory doesn't really change. And we'll see how this goes. Yeah, the footwork just not quite there, was a little bit slow to recover, got caught in no man's land, and Eric was able to put away the ball at the net. Even though I do see myself moving a lot in the video, I am split stepping, I'm going through all the motions. I remember just feeling very sluggish and heavy with my movement throughout this entire match, not really playing with much intent, and here in this point, I get some good shots going, and then you can see the pace of my footwork just slowing down a little bit along with the pace of the match. And I dink my forehand into the net. So that's been happening quite a bit, just a lot of forehand misses that I shouldn't be missing. And Eric gets a pretty good lob off here. I didn't really handle that drop shot well, so we are now down love 40 in this game. And I want to quickly apologize to Eric for not cutting this point out, and also this one. Once again, getting caught with that drop shot. That is one of Eric's best shots. And it is now 4-all, still our serve. Eric has been doing really well pulling me out wide on my forehand side. I quite like hitting that open stance forehand on the run, but, you know, just feeling a little bit slow today, or maybe it's just my reaction time. So I ended up slicing a lot of my forehands on the run. I wasn't really getting into position to hit that open stance forehand. But that first point right there in this game was very important to carry the momentum forward. I was just telling myself to really lock in, really get a hold here, because I didn't want the added pressure of having to lose this game and then having to break back to stay in the set. So we do get the job done with a nice little ace here, and now it is up to Eric to hold his serve and extend this set. Alright, 30 all, very important point here. Both of us have become a lot more passive with our shot taking, and I feel like I was winning a lot of these extended rallies, so I never really tried to push the pace. Being a little bit gun shy, a little bit shy to follow through, and the fear of missing causes me to slow down my swing even more, which definitely led to a lot more errors. Here, 30-40, we just went for it on that forehand, got it right past Eric into the corner. A very important point because it definitely shifted the momentum of this game a little bit.
Oh my God.
After 2 more errors on Eric's end, I take down this first set 6-4, and always good to win the first set, calms the nerves a little bit, and I felt like that's what I needed at this point. I was thinking to myself I needed to relax and just kind of swing through my shots a little bit more, and here is where I thought I had this match in the bag, because Eric definitely was not having his best day. I won the tug of war of the first set, so I won that mental battle. So I thought it might have been smooth sailing from here, but I quickly find myself down 3 break points in this game. Even though I felt a bit less pressure, I think in turn that made me lose a bit of focus early on in the second set. I get broken really early, and now I have the uphill battle of breaking Eric back in this set to stay in it. Once again, just losing the first 3 points in this game. Definitely shouldn't be missing any of those shots like I did, and kind of just beating myself at this point. I do a good job of digging for that ball and had to go directly at Eric there to hope to force an error, and we do that. But here, 40-30, great serve by Eric to close out the service game, just extending his lead further. I could definitely tell Eric has upped his aggression in this set, while I'm still trying to play at the same pace as I did in the first set, which is the slower pace. I think being gun shy, being afraid to swing, causes me to sit back a bit on my forehands. I can see on a lot of these balls, my follow through goes above my head, which also means I'm catching the ball late. I'm not really actively stepping into the ball either, like I've been practicing. I'm still waiting for the ball to drop, sitting back, waiting, not hitting on the rise, which is something I have been practicing. So all of these things I have been working on in the past month or so. It felt really good in practice. I thought I was ready to execute it in a match, but in a real match like this, it kind of just goes out the window. So you really just have to practice more, play more matches in order to apply it to a match. Match play is much different. When you're under pressure, the nerves are hitting you. It's going to be a lot harder for you to execute these things. So I felt pretty lucky that that drop shot didn't make it over. You can see me tilt my head and shrug. We do get a much needed hold, hopefully breaking Eric's momentum from these first 2 games, and still just staying within striking distance of him. Just need to break back 1 more game. Okay, let's just pretend we didn't see that volley or that point. And Eric does a really good job of holding his serve, not much contest for me, and just keeping me at bay, so it is currently 3-1. So waited a bit too long on both forehands here, didn't step in, and at this point, seeing Eric play more aggressive, I tried to swing out a lot more, maybe on balls I shouldn't have, and I make a couple of errors, just going for too much, especially for the level I was playing at that day. And we've been putting ourselves in a very tough spot in a lot of these games, just losing the first couple of points. So same thing here in this service game, and eventually we do drop the service game, and it is now 1-4. We are down 2 break points now. Not looking good for us. Just like the previous game, we are putting ourselves in a bad spot, losing the first couple of points in the service game. Eric is doing a good job though of moving me around, constructing the points, throwing in drop shots when needed, and here I get a bit shy about coming into the net on a ball I definitely should have. I backed up, got caught in no man's land, and he hits me with another sick drop shot. Once again 15-40, and he has a chance here to get it to 5-1, which would make it very hard for me to come back in this set. So in this game, I'm just telling myself, just gotta fight back, stop making errors. And eventually we do get it to deuce, and in this point, I get a nice backhand pass here, get a break point here. I start this point off once again on a defense, just like always, playing some very scrappy tennis, trying to get myself out of trouble, and Eric sees that, and he was nice here, and he decided that I needed a game here just to make me feel a little bit better about myself, so he decides to miss that ball. It is now 2-4, I'm still staying within striking distance, 1 break and we're back in business. Definitely don't want to be losing a game here, because if I lose one more game, he will have 5, and really just needed to lock in here, hold my serve, play some really good points, which is why I decided to give him 2 free points and 3 break chances. Yeah. Just not really swinging through that backhand. I get a little bit tight and mishit that backhand. I really feel like my game has just been going downhill throughout this entire set, and it all started because of those first 2 games and kind of just snowballed from there. In this entire second set, Eric has just been running things. He's definitely loosened up a lot more from the first set. He's playing more aggressive, hitting deeper, and moving me around, and I'm just kind of giving the ball back to him. In my opinion, I think my level kind of just stayed the same between the first and second set. Maybe even dropping some, and I do drop the second set 6-2, but the beautiful thing about tennis is if you screw up one set, the next set starts at 0-all, and I'm only 10 points away from winning this match. So from here, I decided to shift my playstyle, because what I was doing in set 2 was clearly not working. I was missing way too much, the timing was off, the footwork was off, so I've just decided to not miss. And I'm going to let Eric do all the work. He's going to have to beat me his way, he's going to have to hit a winner on me, and I was just going to give it my best shot to not give a single free point to him. So this might not have been the smartest move on today. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this plan. And yeah, whether it works or not, we'll just have to see. Let's see how this final tiebreak goes.
average run rate over, like, it was like 2.5 hours, it was like 150 times like the same like intensity. It was like 40 feet slower, so like
Alright, so we take down this match 10-3 in a third set. A super close match, was very scrappy, and not the prettiest match in my opinion. Anyways, happy to get this win. I will be playing Eric one more time because he has challenged me again on UTR, so we will eventually play our third match. So before this match, our UTR was sitting at a 7.97, and after this match, it is currently... Okay, well... I guess I have to win one more match to get ourselves back to 8. And our next match is going to be another familiar face on this channel. It's going to be our boy Hassan, and that one is going to be an interesting match. So last time, this guy kicked my butt. All the YouTube comments roasted me, and if I lose this time, I might have to quit my channel. But jokes aside, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, be sure to leave a like as well as hit that sub button if you guys like this type of tennis content. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed.